Hi, before I get started on this session, I would like to apologise for the lack of a foot cam. This particular teaching tip is based on bass drum technique, and I don't have the sophistication in this studio to set up a foot cam, but you can hear the bass drum, and obviously I'll be talking through exactly what I'm doing. Somewhere along the line, most students will ask about bass drum technique. If you haven't gone into it very deeply, they will sort of be saying, so is there a technique I should be using? I mean, you might get to it before they do, but I think most teachers would agree that heel down and heel up are the two basic ways to go. Now, you can't see my foot, but most of us know that heel down is where the whole of the base of the foot is resting on the pedal. Heel up is self-explanatory. You pick your heel up, but the two things that the one thing that the two techniques have in common is the front of the foot, the ball of your foot, if you like, is in constant contact with the pedal. Now, what I'm basically going to divulge here is a few exercises, or actually, two basic exercises that drummers can do to improve their bass drum technique. The first one is very, very simple and is probably best because of its simplicity. So what I'm going to do is play 4 notes on the bass drum and then 8 notes at twice the speed. Now, they could be quarter notes and eighth notes, they could be eighth notes and 16th notes, it doesn't matter. But you do 4 notes and then you do 8 notes at double the speed. Obviously it's pretty handy to have a metronome. So let's see. So I could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Now the idea is to do this exercise heel down and heel up. To me, and when I explain this to my students, the basic difference is volume. So with the heel down, you can play quietly. I hope that comes over as quiet, to you, that is. And then I'm going to pick my heel up, and you should hear it much louder. So if I put the metronome on, I'll do 2 sequences with the heel down and 2 sequences with the heel up. So this is heel down. I'll pick the heel up. And then obviously you pick the tempo up and it becomes more difficult. Heel down. Pick the heel up. You get the picture. Obviously you can then add a bit of interest to that. So if you play 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Now, again, a lot of teachers that I speak to, and I would go along with this, point out that this is sometimes more difficult to do slowly than it is fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now you pick your heel up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2. What you're doing, as ever, is gaining control over your bass drum pedal. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and you can you speed up. 1, 2. both heel down and heel up. Now, I mentioned two things. The second thing is a bit more kind of improvised and a bit more rock and roll. A lot of guys I know say, you know, if you can play the Immigrant Song by Led Zeppelin. At the right speed. For any length of time, that's a good bass drum workout. Things like that. What I often suggest is just adding 16th notes. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2. Things like that. Now the killer is when you start to run out of space with adding 2 16ths. So you need to add a third 16th note. So we get patterns like this. Whoops. Things like that. So my favourite is this one. Which I'm doing heel up. And you know, you can get, if you can get a student into that kind of thing, it's obviously very good for them. The point is, as ever, you talk to a lot of drummers and they all have slightly different takes on technique. For me, bass drum technique, from a teaching perspective, is about heel down and heel up. You need to get control of whatever you're playing with both those techniques at whatever speed you need to do it at. Okay, so there's a quick sort of way to get started on the inevitable question, what can I do to improve my bass drum technique?